Hello everybody, it's Mike Ramsey here. I've been asked to do a few Lightroom tutorial videos following Simon Wotton's successful demonstration on how to do Photoshop videos. Rather than jumping in randomly at different modules of Lightroom, which I would otherwise like to do, I thought I'd start with an introduction to Lightroom so that everyone gets an idea of how Lightroom is set up, the basic concepts behind it, and hopefully remove some of the fear from you of using something that you're not familiar with. I will deal with individual segments of Lightroom in separate videos, and maybe different segments of different segments in different videos to follow, to make them all short and sweet. So this is a very brief whistle-stop tour around how Lightroom's laid out and the ideas. So this is where Lightroom starts once you have it set up. In the library module, Lightroom is a catalogue which has a record of all your images wherever they're held, and applies its recipes to developing those images without touching your original files. So this is the first concept you must remember, and that is that your original files are not changed at any point by Lightroom. What Lightroom does is it takes your original file, it applies whatever recipes you've told it to apply to that file, and then creates an output either in the form of a print or a slideshow in a movie, or a JPEG or a TIFF or something that you export to project the Camera Club, for example. How does it do that? Well, it has a master catalogue file which keeps a track of all your images. You have to import your images into that catalogue file. It doesn't actually import the files themselves. It just notes where they are, and within the dialogues that go on, and I'll demonstrate this later, it gives you a chance as to whether you want to move the files or not, but it doesn't actually change the files. So to give you that an idea of that concept, here on the main Lightroom screen, in the middle we have the preview pane, which is showing you all the images themselves. This is set up at the moment in a grid form, and the bottom left here you've got a little grid icon. I can look at an individual image by either clicking on it to select it, which is now highlighted in a lighter grey. Select that one, and then the bottom right here there's a single image view called Loop View by Lightroom. Shortcut to go to that is an E to enlarge the view, that's how I remember it. You can also compare images to decide which one you want. It's a knockout, might well use this. And you can select, if you select a number of images that you want to fine-tune, select which one you want to keep. If there's multiple images the same, there's a view to do that. Survey mode, they call that. Back to grid view, keyboard shortcut G for grid, shows you all the images. That's the center. You can filter what you're looking at using a number of filters at the top. There's no filter applied at the moment, so I'm seeing everything that's in that folder. I can filter by text, name of the file or something like that, an attribute, whether it has stars applying to it, metadata, whether it's got keywords and so on, or you can have preset filters. I've defined a couple of presets. If I want to look at all the raws, I can just select raw, and this only shows me the raw images. Similarly, I can look at just JPEGs, selects all the JPEGs. I can change these filters by any number of parameters if I want to fine-tune it further. But that's the central view, how to look at the images that are in the folder. So I've mentioned folders, and I said before that images are not changed by Lightroom, they're just tracked. So what's this on the left hand side here? The folders view. The folders is showing me which folders these images are in. Now these images are on a separate drive. I keep mine on a hard disk so I can plug the hard disk into either my desktop computer or into my laptop. So I have all my images on a master file, which I then copy and back up. But my master hard disk is here, the main computer hard disk is here. I'm working on Mac. A lot of the things that Lightroom works the same on Windows as well, although the keystrokes are perhaps slightly different. So these images here that we're looking at are images I've taken during November 2018. The way I have my folders set up, within my on that hard disk I have a folder called Pictures. Within that I've got all my pictures set by year and then by month. Occasionally I'll put a subfolder in if there's a particular reason. Here I've put a subfolder in last month when we had the model shoot, so I've got all the model shoots in the same place. But that suits me. I do it by month so that once a month I can copy that month's images onto a separate hard disk and know that I've got a backup of the images elsewhere. So if I do something terribly disastrous, I can copy them back. If I want to see this particular image in Mac's case a Finder, or in Windows case Windows Explorer, I can simply right click on this and show in Finder, and this is showing me the Finder window, the Windows Explorer equivalent for those on PC, and it's showing me here that on my master's hard disk, same as on Lightroom here, this is my master's disk, the master's disk, in a folder called Pictures, subfolder 2018, subfolder 2018, and I'll bring that back, subfolder 2018, image file there, and there is the original raw image there that we're seeing a representation of, a preview of here. So nothing's going to move here unless I tell Lightroom to move it. That's the library concept. To keep the video short, I'll rattle through the other areas, but quickly, in all panels, the panels on the left, this little triangle right on the left hand edge, click that and you'll get rid of that if you want a bit more space, if you're working on a smaller screen. If I don't want the film strip view at the bottom, click on this little down arrow and it will disappear, click on the up arrow, come back. Same if I've got a lot of header space that's taking up room, I can get rid of it, click on it, come back again, and again if this panel is not relevant to me for what I'm doing at the time, click it and remove it. Once you've organised your library, decided which images to pick to work on, you jump into the Develop module, which is the next one across, and here we have that image in the Develop module. Quick tour around here, we have presets, which on the left, there are some built into Lightroom, there are some you can buy, download for free, install and make for yourself. As you hover over each of the presets, they will show you what that preset will make your image look like. And some work better than others on individual images because it depends on what your image is and whether the preset is better or worse for that. Serge Ramelli has a few presets which are on the club computers if you want to take a copy. His style is not to everyone's taste, but it shows, for example, if you want an urban look, you can do that, but it doesn't suit, in this case, rural image. So presets are there, you can create your own. And within the develop module, you're also seeing this snapshots. If you've developed an image to a certain point and you like it, you can take a snapshot of it to go back to at a later date. The history tells you how many, all the steps that have been used to create the image to that point. And on the right hand side are the key tools. Here again you've got the histogram at the top. There's some local adjustment tools, cropping tools and so on. The basic adjustments like the exposure are here, along with all the other tools you'd expect to see. These are the same sort of tools as you will see in Adobe Camera Raw. If you're a Photoshop user, this is the Adobe Camera Raw engine that's used here. In case you're wondering why there's a sort of dark blue look in the bottom left hand corner, it's because on the histogram that is no detail, that's been clipped, and I've got a clipping warning on the histogram here. If I click on this little triangle here and take the box off, the clipping warnings will go. If it's clip shadows, it's a blue highlight, as you'll see in the bottom left hand corner of the image. If there's highlight clipping, it's a orange warning. And as I move the exposure with both warnings on, you'll see as the exposure goes right, you'll see how the histogram piles up on the right hand side, and I've now got orange in all the blown highlights, and as I move it left I'm getting blue in all the blocked shadows. So that's a quick visual warning for you as to which areas might need attention. All the usual tools are here, and I'll do a develop module talk in a separate video. If you wish to make a slideshow, select a number of images and go to the slideshow module. Let's just select a few along the film strip. I clicked on the first one, and then shift clicked on the last one to select the range. Click on slideshow, and there's again templates and so on that Lightroom has installed, but again you can create your own to change layouts, backgrounds, overlays. It's not as fully featured as ProShow Gold and a specific slideshow making piece of software, but it will do a basic job for you. You can add music to it, you can make sure that the slides sync to the music, how long the slide lengths are, how long the fades are between the two, fit the slideshow to the length of the music, and there's quite a number of effects here, but not nearly as easy to use perhaps as a more complicated and more definitive version of a piece of software to make a slideshow. Similarly, you can then use print, although print is much simpler to use, and again it's a separate subject for a separate video, but this is where you can set the print size to your A4 and decide your layouts on the prints and your colour management and so on. So I hope that's given you a basic tour of the Lightroom layout, and I'm hoping to keep these videos short, to under 10 minutes or so, to make sure it covers what you need to know, and we break it down into several other ones. So next video coming up will be a bit more on importing, getting the library set up, and more concepts on image management in the library module, and I'll get on to develop modules later. So hopefully that's been helpful. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any particular areas you'd like me to focus on in future videos. But for now, that's me. Thanks for listening. I hope it's been a little bit helpful, and look forward to seeing you next time.